What's up, YouTube? It's Ricky here. I'm just doing a deck profile for the deck I used at Locals Friday. It's Nature Dark Light Midrange. I like to call it Gigahorn Charger Toolbox. It's a very toolboxy deck. Uses Gigahorn Charger just to get some like really clutch one-ofs or just good cards like Lyra. So I'll just get right into it. The deck looks like a pile, but it's really not. I really wanted to build a really skill-intensive deck, and I feel like I accomplished that. I went 3-0 at Locals in the top 4, 6-2 in games, and then I lost in top 4 to variants because that's good for the game, I guess. But whatever, no salt. So I'll just start with the deck profile. Play 3 Sprouts, just good mana ramp. Like I want to have something to play on turn 2. Play 6 things that cost 2 mana. I'm sorry, I play 8 things that cost 2 mana. And I like to have Sprout a lot of times because it lets you do cool things like turn 3 Keeper Laws and stuff like that, and it lets you play Lyra faster, Gigahorn on turn 4, etc., etc. Very solid card for the deck, and I chose this over Reap and Sow because it is a Shield Blast, and I do like it against aggressive decks when they do hit it in shields because it lets me play like other spells earlier. Like if they attack it in shields, I get to play like Lyra on 5, especially like if I play one and then they hit one in shields, I can play Lyra on 4, so it's pretty strong. And gotta have those dual day ones. 3 Mana Pod Beetle, basically just like Sprout 4 through 6. He has his advantages. This guy's really, really good against rush decks because if you can randomly trade with a 1,000 power creature, it's really, really strong being able to put it into mana, and then they're just down a card and you're up a mana, which lets you play your bigger cards faster. But I really like him a lot. And then the sort of namesake of the deck, Gigahorn Charger. One of the interactions I wanted to have in the deck, the reason it made me want to build the deck, is because I wanted to be able to play Gigahorn Charger into Noble Rumbling Pterosaur. Because I just started looking at it, and I don't have any other Tuskers in the deck, but I wanted to be able to have an evolution line where like your bait searches for your Evo. It seemed really strong, and Noble Rumbling Pterosaur's good. He's almost like Medusa whenever you can catch something tapped. Especially if you don't get it with your Gigahorn Charger, you're just holding it in your hand, and you get something like a Lyra or Gregorius Fortress or something. You can just play it, mana zone something, and then attack over something else. And then if you ever draw your second one, you get to mana zone 2 things. Or if you draw a Gigahorn Charger, you can mana zone something. So he's really, really strong in the deck. I like him a lot. He's the main reason I wanted to build the deck. But anyway, 3 Gigahorn Chargers gets a lot of your one-ups and everything. Basically just your green crystal memory. 3 Root Traps because it's the best removal spell right now. It has been for a long time now. I don't need to talk about that much. 2 Noble Rumbling Pterosaurs. I have 2 Tusker Evos and only 3 Tuskers, but my Tusker bait goes and gets this guy. And if you go get this guy with Gigahorn and then they deal with Gigahorn, your Gigahorn's still cantripped. He drew you a card, basically, and he's an easy mana zone charge. So, but if you do get to play him, he's really, really strong. Get into the light section. 3 Lyras. She's pretty standard. I like playing her. One of the reasons I wanted to play Nature Dark Light instead of like Nature Dark Water or something. Lyra is super, super strong. She's an amazing card to get with Gigahorn Charger and that progression of Gigahorn Charger into Lyra, especially if there's something that they have in play that you can kill with Gigahorn Charger. It's very, very good. And she's honestly the card I probably get about 80% of the time with Gigahorn Charger. Almost effectively lets you play like 6 copies of Lyra, which is really good. 3 Keeper Laws because it's just too good not to run. It's your card draw, and it's amazing against control. And against a lot of the aggressive decks, I'm totally fine just waiting to go in for shields and acting as the control deck until I have a Keeper Law so I know I can win the game. 2 Raincloud Krakens. Just wanted a 2 mana blocker, and this guy had relevant creature type for me. And a 2 mana 3000 Skirmishers, really, really good when you're playing decks with cards with like Lyra and Stormspark and Homunculus, which I'll get to later. And having just something that can block most of the early rush creatures are really, really good, and still be able to tap, kill things, and be able to evolve into. 2 Stormspark Blasts. Not playing 3, even though I don't have Piercing Judgment. Just didn't have enough room in the deck. I've already got it, I think, 42 cards, and I didn't want to go any higher. I'd actually like to get it down to 40, but I just played it as is for Dual Days, and I'll work on it some more and let you guys know. I'm playing 1 Cobalt. It's not a Cobalt deck, but I wanted to have access to Cobalt because some decks like Rush and the more aggressive versions of certain decks, you want Andromeda before you can get Andromeda, and Cobalt kind of fills that role, being something that you can get with Gigahorn Charger if you have a Raincloud Kraken in play, or you can play Gigahorn, go get Cobalt, then play Homunculus, tap something, kill it with Gigahorn, and the next turn you can play the Homunculon on top of I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. Play the Cobalt on top of the Homunculon. And also, too, you can play it on top of Swordhorn. And I think there's 8 Enforcers in the deck. So there's plenty of bait for one Cobalt, and I just wanted to have access to one of them in the deck. And that's another reason, it's Gigahorn Toolbox. There's a lot of toolboxy creatures in the deck. One Andromeda. I didn't really want to have another Andromeda in the deck. Again, card count came into play here. Playing so far, I've only ever needed one. I've never wanted a second one. Usually after I play one, I have enough pressure to win the game, or enough tap to deal with the creatures. So I'm not usually looking at a field full of creatures when I play Andromeda. So one, it just makes me safe. It's a 9-mana dragon, and it's really, really good to have at least one of them in the deck. You can go get with Gigahorn Charger when you need it, and if you don't need it, you can just mana it, and it's fine. For the Darkness section, is pretty straightforward. It's just removal, 3 Bone Blades, and 3 Terror Pits, if I can find them. I don't have gold Terror Pits here with Spencer Swan now. So 3 Bone Blades, 2 Terror Pits for the removal, and then 2 Skull Shatters, because I felt like it's something I really wanted to be doing against Control. It kind of gave me almost inevitability against them, because if I can play early creatures and just start attacking shields, get them down to like 1 or 2, and then get a Shatter off before if I draw a Shatter, or if I can get it underneath their discard, they're just in a terrible position. If I can get them to have like 1 or 2 creatures in play and like 1 shield and no cards in hand, they've pretty much lost the game. So, and then 2 Shatters, and then this guy was a later addition. I just realized how good he was with all the tap spells I have in the deck. I played against my buddy Parker from Team Megalo playing Bobby Breaks Leviathan deck, and he just had this ridiculous field of like Andromeda, Tritonus, Wavelancer, Aquastrider, Double Lyra, King Neptus, or something like that. And I had Fortress in play. I played a Homunculon to tap his Tritonus, and then just started ramming everything I had into it, and it ended up just all the pluses for me. Like, really, really good. Like, dealing with so many huge creatures with, like, Sword Horns and Rain Cloud Krakens, just threw everything at it, and it banished pretty much all of his creatures. So, I mean, he ended up with just the Tritonus in play, which is what he wanted to have in play, which was fine, but he was just so far behind at that point he couldn't catch back up. And then for the multi-sip section, 6 cards, 3 Homunculon. This card's super good. There's so many cards in the deck. Like, there's been times where you just, like, I've played this and then, like, tapped a General Skycrusher and then just attacked over it with Swordhorn. Like, this guy makes a lot of these cards in this deck huge. Like, oh, he's just so good. And there's, there's been, I was playing against dragons, and I got to, like, use a Homunculon to tap a Shade Blaze, and then trade with my Fortress, and then they had to banish another creature. Just absolutely insane. Really, really like the card. Wouldn't play any less than 3 in this deck. And then 3 Swordhorns. He's just the very, very solid turn 3 play. He doesn't die to Herald of Infernus, which is really good. I'm out of focus right now. He doesn't die to Herald of Infernus, which is really good. He works on a really good curve where you can get to go turn 3 Swordhorn, turn 4 Keeper Laws, turn 5 Homunculon, and then kill something, and then attack a shield, and if it's a blast, you get to draw a card. So, he's the perfect thing I want for a 3-mana spot in this deck. So, that's the deck, guys. I don't really know if I can lay it out here. I'm not as good as sliding. But, I'll be working on this some more in the next few weeks in anticipation of Shattered Alliances, because I think this deck will go really well with some of the black-white cards we've already seen, and the black-green card we've already seen, and Necros, and hopefully I'll be able to fit all these into this deck, make it more toolboxy, give it more removal, better curve, just better cards in general. I really like the deck right now. If there was a KMC next week or something, I'd probably take this and play it. I don't feel like I have a bad matchup from all the matchups against I've played. I've played against Dragons and Megabugs and Control, which are the 3 big decks right now, and I haven't really felt like I was losing any of the games. I lost the games to in Top 4 to Dragons, where I just drew incredibly bad hands, and then in Game 2 he just played a Tetsuri in the champion, and the top card of his deck was red, so there wasn't anything I can do about it. But that's it, guys. Hope you like the deck profile. If you want to try it out at your locals, let me know how you do. Let me know any changes you should make to the deck. Obviously won't take them into automatically do them, but I'll definitely take them into consideration. I really like the deck. It's probably my favorite deck that I've played so far, honestly. It's very skill intensive, and it just gives you so many options every turn. So, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think of the video. Check out my other videos, and we'll see you later.